Hi again, everybody. We are back with more Weird Giraffe Games Day stuff here. Jess is still going. She's got a couple more minutes, but I am terrible at paying attention to more than one thing at the same time ever. So I'm just going to go ahead and get us started here. Just going to be introducing ourselves and stuff. My goodness, for now. This is what happens when I take like 5 minutes of break away from literally anything, and just my brain just like boop. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. I literally went over what we were going to do here, and then I forgot. Okay, so Corey is over here, and I am Corey. Why don't you go and introduce yourself? Yeah, Zoe says for me. I totally agree. But yeah, Corey, go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, what you do. I guess whatever like you want to talk about yourself with. Like,
Sure.
go ham.
Yeah, I'm Corey. I like long walks and I'm Corey Andalora. I designed Explosion in the Laboratory, a micro card game prequel to Fire in the Library. It was on BackerKit a few months ago. Its origin was for a Weird Giraffe Games contest, where you would take the theme or world of one of the existing Weird Giraffe games in their library and turn it into an 18-card game. It has since evolved over time into a 27-card game that, again, was on BackerKit and will be out, sometime later this year to its backers. I've designed a number of other games. I have another game coming out this year called Mission Control with Third World Studios. It's a cooperative, real-time, asymmetric roll and write game. So that's coming up this year. I have some other games with some other publishers, hopefully in the near future as well. Including Weird Giraffe, another one, which we might talk about a little bit. And yeah, so I've been doing design for, seriously for, I'd say, for maybe 4 years now, 4 or 5 years. Obviously dabbled with games much longer than that. Always been a fan of playing games and tinkering with it, and took it seriously, like I said, 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. I like, what do I like? I like, I like the Weird Giraffe Games library, and so a lot of my designs are either for like publishers that I enjoy or just themes that I enjoy. For example, I've designed a stunt kites game because it's one of the hobbies I have is flying stunt kites. I'm working on a battle bots style game because I enjoy combat robotics. So yeah, just lots of little stuff, and when I have the time to do it.
I love BattleBots, especially. Like, we watch it every week. I actually watch it with my mom, like online, like remotely. So like Facebook Messenger chat, like while we both watch it. And in fact, she can't even watch it on TV. She has the like streaming service, so she'll like pause it and we'll kind of talk. Like she gets ahead of me because her commercials are much shorter. So she'll be like, let me know when you get to Farouk, and then like he's introducing them, and like then we both joke about that and stuff. So like, yeah, I love BattleBots. I think that I'm already excited about that game.
I was just watching it before hopping on the stream this week's episode because I don't have cable, but I paid for the series on on a streaming service. So I was literally just watching it moments ago, catching up because I'm so into it. I used to for a little while it was in this area. I even built some, and there's different weight classes. So there's like the beetle weight, which is 3 pounds. So I was in the beetle weight class. Hang on, I gotta show off my trophy here for my battle bot that was a champion in 2019. So
oh, no way, that's awesome.
Yeah,
your screen's actually frozen again. So
man,
yeah,
I was like, we want to see it.
Yeah, let's see what we can do about that. I don't know why that keeps happening. I just switched the camera a few times and maybe it'll. Am I moving?
Yes, there you are.
You're moving again.
Super impressive battle bots. Well, it's Rumble in the North champion.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. I'm gonna tell my mom about that. She's gonna like lose it. Like she sends me BattleBots memes and stuff all the time. So
She even sent this little BattleBot book. It was cool.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's like a kid's book, like B is for BattleBot.
Oh, I know about that. But
Yeah.
I thought about getting it. It's very cool.
Yeah, she sent it to us this year. That's awesome.
It's written, I believe, by the driver of Witch Doctor,
Mhm.
one of the bots. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, exactly. You're
I know
right.
way too much. It's almost more about BattleBots than I do board games, I think, sometimes.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
So funny that I was listening to your interview with Arwen on her podcast a while back, and you were talking about BattleBots and the stunt kites and things. And it's like, I like stunt kites. I like fly one that's kind of a little more simple, like in our football field at the school next to our house. And then Beth loves BattleBots. I'm like, yay, Corey's are kind of nerdy.
Is it a dual line? Two lines?
It is actually one, but it is like the way that it's made, it catches the wind. You can kind of like pull the rope in different ways and get it to loop. So it was a real basic one. I wanted to get a better one, but like so far that's what I've been doing.
I don't own one, but I once flown a quad line one.
Oh wow.
Where so not only do you have pull, but you have like you twist your wrist and it can do it like it's like a big almost looks like a big parachute and it'll like fold up and then come back out and do.
That's intense. That's cool.
It was very intense.
I think it's cool. I was just Googling, I'll pull it up here on the screen, but of course eBay is the one that had it too. But
does it take a little extra effort to get that up in the air going at first?
No, honestly, I think it might have been easier to fly.
Oh, nice. Cool.
I mean, it all depends on how much wind. Like they're all graded for different like wind speeds. If there's too much wind, you can't fly it. If there's not enough wind. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's a quad, right? Yep.
I could just see myself kind of being pulled up. You catch the wind and it just pulls you across the field.
Yeah, they look straight up like a parachute. You're right.
Yeah.
They do. They're different. They're not like they don't loop and stuff like the dual line, but they're still very very cool.
Awesome. We also have Harold Selene here, who has been doing some really awesome, just fan stuff, which has been incredible to see. So why don't you tell us, including me, about yourself, what you do.
Hi. Okay, so I'm Rachel Carpenter, but I go by Harold Selene on Board Game Geek. You might have seen me there. I have a blog called Harold's Call, which just went daily back in July. But I found Fire in the Library quite by accident in late 2019. And I was like, you know what? It's a board game that has a solo mode. While I was away from gaming and stuck in academia, somehow solo modes became a thing, and I just completely missed the boat. And I was like, I love games. I love libraries. You know what? Let's click. Bye. So the first playthrough, I got my butt handed to me, lone librarian mode. I couldn't get anything done. The library burnt down, but I was like, this is a really cool little game. And so I just kept playing it. And then I realized it didn't have that big of a following on Board Game Geek. So I'm like, all right, let's start a solo challenge series. And we've been going on and off since early 2020.
That's awesome.
But,
good timing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've actually designed some fan promo cards. We actually had one for Explosion in the Laboratory, which was fun. The Holiday Magic card actually exists now. It's not just use the amulet and pretend it's holiday magic, which was my lazy way of getting around that when life took over. Esther's ghost joined us at Halloween. She was very not nice. She is a bit of a prankster. She stole all your tools. And then for spring, I actually have 2 challenges ongoing right now. We have the spring challenge, which actually runs through June, and that has lots of little fan promos. Everybody from the groundhog to the bunny. And let's see. Oh, yes, the Herbalist Guild next door has been helping. Since the laboratory moved next door, there have been a few more accidents and things. So they came up with flame retardant vines to try and help the librarians. But unfortunately, that brought bookworms. So, 1 step forward, 2 step backs. And for our special Weird Giraffe Games Day weekend challenge, I extended it to try and boost participation.
Yay.
We have Scroll of Knowledge in honor of Dreams of Yesterday, and Premonition, which is in honor of Dreams of Tomorrow.
Awesome.
That's
so
awesome.
encouraging people to play a really great game and have some fun with it. It's been really fun to help with the world building efforts and try to expand this universe that Weird Giraffe has built up. And playing with the fan promos has also got me into a bit of game design on my own. I actually have a 9-card print and play in the contest on Board Game Geek right now called Charge the Circle. It is a real-time solo game, and you are attempting to save magic. So give it a look if you want. It's fun.
That's awesome. I love that got you into designing too. Because I feel like they're so adjacent. Like, like you're already creating by adding things onto something, and then you can just like, I'll just do something on my own too. Like that's awesome. It's actually one of the neat things about this contest that Corey was talking about too, is that that's basically the premise of it. Like you're taking a game that already exists and you're making something new with it. I think that's really cool. Speaking of challenges and stuff, what I think is really cool about being able to just create things is, and I'm just going to throw this on the screen real quick. I made this a couple weeks ago. I wanted to do more with it. I have not yet, but at least kind of gives you an idea of how easy it can be to do something. I wanted to make a cooperative mode for Fire in the Library because like Carl always jokes about how like, you can't save the library. It's impossible. You can't save it because like, it's even asks people like, did you save the library? It's like, no, of course not. You literally can't. So this is Waterbot, which is from thematically it's from Studies in Sorcery. Like it's like one of their creations. But first of all, I had to make it these colors in this order because I was doing this on stream and I noticed that if you took the fire tokens out of Fire in the Library, these are the 4 colors of the books, not including the technology expansion. And if you notice here, I had the link. I guess I don't now. Anyway, this is the non-binary flag, straight up, in order. That's exactly what the non-binary flag looks like. Carla says it was entirely coincidental, and that if she would have known that, she would have reordered the colors to where like that's actually their value originally. But yeah, it's just a quick little card, and it gives you instructions how to play it. And I think it's just really neat that you can, like, if you have an idea for something, whether it's something that's published or just something like a friend made or whatever, like you can just make stuff and throw it out there, and then like it's a thing that exists now. That's cool. Even if it's not official, like, and I know the designers and publishers and stuff love it too, because it's a sign that somebody likes their game enough that they actually put some effort out. And it's one thing to just know somebody's playing your stuff, let alone like somebody likes this so much that they'll make, unless you're doing something like this game sucks and I'm going to fix it, in which case maybe that's not the greatest thing to tell the publisher or developer about. But sorry, I'm clicking here like crazy. But yeah. All right. So you actually covered a lot of the questions I was going to ask too. Which is great by me. I was actually really curious if you did design other stuff too, and I love it. Okay, so I was gonna take a cough drop, but let's see what I can ask here. Here's one. Have you had any favorite challenges so far? Or out of your challenges?
I have to say I really like the spring ones so far, just because there's so many promos available. And I actually encourage people, use them all. Use the official promos, use any of the fan promos that are out there now, and let's see what we can come up with. But it's just that extra dose of chaos.
Yes, I'm all for chaos in games. And actually that's a good point too. I forgot to share this. This is the link to the Explosion in the Laboratory / Fire in the Library reprint. Just happened pretty recently on Backer Kit, and this is a link if you want to pre-order Fire in the Library. You can do so from our website, and I'll touch on how to do the Explosion in the Laboratory also, because it's still pre-orderable too, but that's elsewhere, so that's special. Okay, yeah. Do you have any specific process for coming up with a challenge when you do them, or is it just kind of like something comes to you and then like?
It's normally something just comes to me. Normally, if I'm sitting playing the game, I'll have an idea. Or if I'm working on something else, I'll just be like, light bulb moment. Hey, write that down. Like, I always have a notebook with me. I know it annoys people, but it's like, oh, hold on, I gotta write that down. Like seriously, I have a notebook right here.
That's awesome. No, that's great advice. Everybody should have a notebook of some sort near them. Like even if you, you know, there are people who write, there are people who draw, there are people who like literally anything. If you remember you got to buy something at the grogrocery store, you can write it down. Like it doesn't even matter. Like it's nice to have something to write on. And I swear, like if I do it on my phone, it autocorrects the worst possible ways, and then like, or you can't draw out something if you have an idea. So.
Exactly. You can't draw correctly on an electronic device. I've never been able to get, you know, like I know there's touch screens and stuff, but that doesn't look like my handwriting.
Yeah, exactly. Like my fingers are not the same as a pen. Like no way.
You gotta get those the stylus pencils. Those work really well actually.
Yeah. I actually used to have one, obviously not this phone, but it was a slide phone. Like you'd actually like slide it up, and then that was where the keyboard was down here. And it actually had a stylus, and it was a Windows phone, and that thing was amazing back in the day. We got it refurbished for $100, but yeah, I wish they made more slide phones because I hate these. Like
she misses that phone so much.
I like YouTube and stuff, sure, but like making me type on a phone, like I just want to die because I can type so much faster on a computer. Like it makes me sad inside. Corey, what about you? What leads you to choose a game to design based around? What leads you to make what it is you make out of it?
That's a good question. I think most of the time it comes. So I think contests are huge driving forces a lot of times, because what's fun about those is someone will drop a contest and there'll be some restrictions or constraints that basically fuel the initial creative process, right? It's like, oh, how with those constraints can I make something interesting and fun? So that's one avenue that I often take. Another is it might be just something, like I said earlier, I'm interested in, and I'd like to see a game for it. I made a game, designed a game, or I have a game designed where it's about a crayon factory, because I used to like those videos on like, you know, PBS where they show how the process of how a crayon is made from, you know, melting wax and pigmenting it and hardening it into crayons and then boxing it. So basically I'm like, oh, this is cool. It sounds like a very factory-like game. I want to make a game based on that theme. And so, you know, that was another one, the stunt kite that I mentioned earlier, the robot fighting game. So a lot of it's also, yeah, just themes that I'm interested, or maybe there's something that happened in the news and I'm like, oh, that would be a cool game. You're in a conversation. Hey, that should be a game. I have a design partner that I work on a lot of games with, or, you know, we'll bounce ideas off of each other. Donnie Coleman, he co-designed Mission Control, which I mentioned earlier. So a lot of our comment messages to each other are like, hey, let me pitch a game to you. You know, that's kind of our first line of defense there. And then, oh, that sounds neat. Keep going. Or, oh, I'll work on that with you. Or here, what if it did this? And so you start with we often start with ideas, and then, all right, what are the mechanisms? So I would say often I'm a theme first designer, not always, but often a theme first designer. That's kind of one of those questions that comes up a lot. Are you theme first or mechanism first? And then I try to fit, you know, the mechanisms in with the theme in a way that it still feels like that theme, and let that theme kind of drive what you're doing. But the tricky bit is trying to be a little bit innovative and different instead of just another game. You know, you want it to still feel different too. So I would say that's generally my go-to if it's not already being driven by a contest. But even a contest is going to be like, okay, how do I pull something that I'm interested in to fit into the constraints? Because at the end of the day, I feel like you have to be excited about your own game before you can expect anybody else to be.
Yeah, that's always been my problem. I'm sure Zoe can back me up on this, and Angel definitely can, since she designs. Like Angel's my design partner too, like back and forth. Like I design with her too. You know, not one way or the other. But anyway, I used to do every single game jam that that existed, and there's a bajillion any given second of the day. Like there's always a thousand of them to do, and like that is the thing. Like you have to find ones that inspire you, and then things that kind of fit with what you want to do. Like I'm not going to be interested in like something that's really dry or something that's like, you know, industrial or something, unless it does have a really cool twist on it. But like, you know, so I wouldn't enter something like that. But something random like on a bookmark, yeah, sure, that's totally me. And like if not, like I'm out a day, whatever, who cares? So like it is very important, you're right, so to just find something that kind of calls to you and like, this, like I can make this work. Or we all have the same mentality of like, I already have like 1,000 game ideas or prototypes started. If this jam means I have an excuse to actually finish it or work on it, like, yeah, let's do this thing, because like then I'm not starting yet another one, which is always a fun trap to fall
I
in.
think as a player, you can tell when the designer was passionate about the thing that they were designing, right? So like if the designer's really into it, they're gonna put everything into that theme to make it shine. Like Wingspan is probably the ultimate example of Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge birder, and like if you know birding, I don't, but I know people who are. They'll say, "Wow, she thought of everything. The habitats they live in, the type of nest they make, the food they eat, like all these little things that like the casual player won't notice, but the experienced people will. But even still, like because she was so passionate about it, is what made it also makes it a great game. Is that it's something that she was really into and turned it into a fantastic design. If it's a theme that you might not be as into, you might not put as much energy into it. So I think that's why it's got to start with something that you're passionate with, and then you build off of that. At least for me. And I think, like I said, when I play games, you can kind of tell, oh yeah, they really thought of everything when they were putting this together.
Yeah, that's it's funny because like you mentioned the like theme or mechanics first, and I always used to say I'm a theme first person. But my problem is that I will find a theme that I like, and then I'll start making a game, and then I'll start ripping all the things out that made it that theme because like I like these other mechanics instead. But then I'm like, okay, where's the theme now? And usually Angel's really good about finding that theme instead. So like she'll find it, and then we kind of do like you talked about, where you like, okay, this is the theme now, so we're going to build these things that make sense on that theme on top of this, so that it's still very thematic, but it didn't initially come from that.
That is the hardest part, is making those compromises. Like you might throw too much of a theme into a game where it becomes very complicated and convoluted and eventually not fun. So you have to make those. Yes, I know that this is a thing, but I'm going to chop it for the sake of the game. So yeah, you kind of start like you put everything in there. At least that's how I this isn't everybody, but this is how I design. I throw everything in there and then trim away the fat versus some people might start with something simple and then layer on top of that. But I feel like a lot of times I go backwards. I put a lot in and then smooth sand the edges, make
rein it in
and a little bit more elegant. And a lot of that comes through play testing. You play it with someone, they're like, this confused me. Okay, that's gone. Or I'm going to make it less confusing.
Yeah.
I found that interesting because it seems like we were just talking about what publishers look for and how people need to not be so married to their ideas if they want to pitch something, because they might change a whole theme, and it's really hard for people that design theme first. And so then you find out, oh, they're the ones that are running other publisher companies because they need to publish their own thing because they feel passionate about what they've made and the way they've made it, so they publish their own. But it's just an interesting thing that when you do have a passion for that theme and you make the game, you really do want to be attached to that, because it's like, okay, this is why I made that, and I don't see another theme like encapsulating that as well as this does, but that might not necessarily be what a publisher is looking for. And so those fine lines and balance are hard to find sometimes when you do design with a theme in mind and first.
That's a great point, because I do have a game where the publisher completely changed the theme, right? And it was it's for a number of reasons, like, oh, we like that theme, but there's too much of that right now. And we want to separate ourselves through theme, or we don't know if that's a very marketable theme. You might love it, but that doesn't mean it's going to be very marketable for us, and what we do. So I did have that happen, and you have that conversation, and they ask, are you okay with the theme being changed? And we would like to change it to this. And in this case, I said, that's fine. It's still, doing what the game I made did, and it still makes sense. It's not like, this theme is completely wildly awkward against the mechanism. So yeah, we had that conversation, and that does happen. So that's a good point. If you're a theme first designer, be careful not to get too
right.
your theme.
Exactly.
But I would say the higher percentage of my games, the theme stuck. The theme stayed.
Well, I can see why. Even with the explosions and stuff like that, you did a really good job. With the different mechanics, making it its own game, but really paying homage to the source material. And you do great with that, with anything I've seen with Weird Giraffe stuff. So I can see why they keep it, because you do well.
Yeah, astute observers will notice that, like you mentioned, the colors of the books in Fire in the Library. Well, I used similar iconography. Whenever the same color was used, I'd be like, "Oh, let me play homage to the original game and use the same icon for that color wherever I use that color." And so, and I don't call it out. It was just like a subtle Easter egg kind of thing to show that connection between the two games as well when I designed it, and I believe that's stayed through the course of, obviously new art's been attached since then, but that was one of the things like Carla, maintained.
Oh, I'm not sure if you've seen it yet or not, Rachel. The updated art for
Fire.
For explosions. Yeah. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen the updated art for explosions. I have seen the updated art for fire. Carla had me read through the rule book.
Oh, great.
That's awesome.
I think you're going to be excited. I saw your review and you had talked about wanting it to be a little bit more thematic potions and stuff. It's so many potions and stuff. You're going to love it.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
The updated art is great.
It's really cool. Yeah.
I saw your feedback, and I'm like,
thing is my layout. A lot of times your layout might completely change, and I believe for the most part, like it's 99% the same as how I laid it out, just upgraded art. And
nice.
Carla and I spoke, and she's like, this is like the least I've ever had to, read.
Yeah, I was so surprised.
So like it's very close to the game that I originally pitched. We've added and balanced better some of the tools and we call them processes in Explosion. So, and then there's more of them. So other than that, a lot of the stuff was able to be maintained. There's again, when you work with a publisher, there's a lot of times where the game they make is vastly different than the one they signed, right? Because it goes through a lot of development often.
Yeah, very fair. I know one thing Carla has said a bunch of times is that because I'm kind of like being led to being the person that kind of looks for things to publish, and she says frequently that a game can be fixed. It's more important you find a person who's really good to work with, and I feel like there's this intersection point where like you're working with someone good and there's a great game already, and so it sounds like that's kind of what Explosion ended up being. Like you said, she ended up like adding some extra cards, so it's 27 now, but like so much of that stuff stayed the same, so it probably feels like a huge break for her to be like, oh, I don't have to completely change all this stuff like just to get this person published because their game was just all right. And like, yeah, yours was like, I feel like I can't remember, but I feel like we got this one, the playtest, before she changed it around too much. And it was great, like right from the beginning. Like the only thing that was a little fun with, I don't know who like is familiar too much with shuffling a bunch of cards when they're sleeved. Rachel over here, you have your custom cards in there, so I'm assuming you do. But Angel and I are not familiar with the process. We don't sleeve our cards generally. And yeah, like having to shuffle like these cards over and over again, like frequently is not easy when they're sleeved with pieces of paper.
I'm not a sleever either, so I guess I never really
we started table spinning them.
Yeah.
The dealer like at a casino shuffle where you just kind of
you
just take them and like mix them around and like and it worked.
I generally don't sleeve. Prototypes and promos are the exception.
Yeah, and that's always the fun thing too, is you get a promo in a game, now all of a sudden you have to sleeve everything else too. So yeah, oh great. Speaking of promos though, I was gonna say it earlier and I completely forgot that if you pre-order Fire in the Library, that reprint actually comes with several promos too. It comes with the original ones, that were originally out in the game, and then I think like 4 or 5 extra ones was how many we crowdfunded extra for. So there's gonna be extra like promo cards in there. So if you are interested in promo cards, like you just get them included in there for free. So when you buy the game, obviously not just for free, but like that's how you end up shutting your company down, is when you give away just a whole bunch of stuff for free. Like, do not take this as like you don't get anything for free. No, like,
that gets added in.
I already got in trouble on Kickstarter because like I do customer service, and normally when we do fulfillment, the EU and the UK are 2 separate things. So the UK is not part of EU fulfillment, and I just assumed that that's what the case was again. And apparently the fulfiller that was doing it actually was doing them both together, because we were doing things differently this time, of course. Oh. And the fulfillment company saw that, and they basically just paused what they were doing for like a month and a half because I said that on a Kickstarter comment without telling us. So a big part of the issues with Gift of Tulips and Wicked and Wise being fulfilled right now is all because I said one thing that I thought. So do not take anything I say whatsoever in any way as official. And that goes for this too. Explosion in the Laboratory is still being developed. So like there are things that can change about it. It is very much like along the way. So I don't like, it's not like it's going to be like massively changed or anything, but things can always change. So.
I do want to point out, you mentioned Wicked and Wise and Gift of Tulips. Those are both great games. I got both of mine fulfilled. So,
yay!
I know unpaid promotion here. Because, I am a big fan of Weird Giraffe Games, and those 2 are at the top of the list. They're very good. And you can play one is in beta, right? Tulip.
Gift of Tulips is in beta on Board Game Arena.
Played it a few times. It's really good. It's real fun.
Yeah, it's also on Sovereignty, so you can play that over there as well.
Yeah, it's actually what we're doing after this stream. Is nice. Like at 5:30, we're going to be headed over to Amanda Panda's channel, and we're going to be playing that on Sovereignty. What was really cool about the BGA one is that we didn't even ask for it to be done. Like a person just came into our Discord server and was like, "Hey, are you cool with me putting this on there?" And we're like, "Yeah, absolutely, go for it." And then he ended up actually translating most of the game into Dutch too. I guess there's some things that BGA doesn't allow you to do unless you get like some kind of permissions that are still underway, or I don't know exactly how it works, but he translated all the rest of it without even being asked or anything, because like in the Dutch. So it's really cool because that game is based in Dutchness.
Netherlands?
Yeah, Netherlands.
The Netherlands, yeah.
Netherlands.
Mm-hmm. That's the word.
Yeah. I love that everybody else knew it and I'm the one over here dealing with fulfillment. So that's super fun. Like if it gets lost in the mail, it's not because of me. I just copy paste stuff over. Like, don't worry.
You're not going to put Dutchness on their package.
Please send to Dutchness. Okay, so I guess that covers basically everything. Actually that. Oh yeah, no, it didn't. Okay. Were there any of the games you wanted to talk about, Corey, that you have been working on? Like, I know you are working on a game called Tumbletoe, which I remember the very first time I heard it, like you mentioned it at one point, like a long time ago. And like the second I heard that, I could just like picture like cranes, which obviously are not going to be back in that day, but like just cranes pulling like giant dice in the town. Like, so you just automatically capture that with that. And then I know there was another one you threw in the Discord, which I still have not looked at yet because I'm a terrible person, called Buddies and Sorcery, which it was another one of those, like, just like, I am terrible at names, but like both of those are just like the best names of all time automatically. So, so if you want to talk about either of those or like any of the other games, actually go for it.
Yeah, so the challenge, what attracted me to doing Explosion Laboratory was the challenge of turning a bag building game into 18 at the time 18 cards. Like, how do I replicate bag building with 18 cards? So that was the fun challenge to me, because you have so few components. How do you possibly replicate slowly putting more tokens into a bag and changing the probability of pulling them back out? If we end up playing it here, we'll go through that. But ultimately, it's the distribution on the different what we call lab cards has different ratios of red, blue, yellow, and black ingredients. And so as the fire level increases, the distribution changes, and how you randomly pick it. Well, you'll have a higher ratio of exploding. So anyways, that's the story of Explosion Laboratory. So I kind of oh, that was fun. Let's see if I can do. And it was a prequel. What's another game from Weird Giraffe I love? Tumbletown. How do I make a prequel to it? And also the challenge of that one is the engine building and rolling with dice. And how do I make dice rolling with cards? And only 18 of them. Again, 18 cards. And the way that works is you randomly pick 2. They have like dice on the edges, and how you put them together is like randomly rolling them. And so it's called Tumble Toe. I was again, I think Donnie suggested that, so I can't take full credit. But I loved it because it's using the exact same name minus one letter. And I made a little like mock-up logo where it's like one of those signs in the Old West where the N is like tilted over like on a nail. So, and you can see like the shadow of the N behind it. So it says show instead of town.
That's amazing.
I just thought that was pretty funny. And again, it's a prequel. So it's like, how did we get all these supplies, which are, in Tumbletown, the dice are the supplies. How did they get all the supplies to the town that they're actually building? Well, they towed them there. So it's Tumble Toe. So the theme of that game is you're loading the supplies onto carts that are eventually going to get towed into town. And so it's a similar game where you pull in cards, you pay for them through these dice, dice in quotes because there's not actually dice in the game. And you're with the 18 cards. How do I build that engine? So a lot of the times when you have less cards, my gimmick is to take cards that you've taken and put them back into the system, right? So that they're constantly flowing back in. That helps lengthen the game. A lot of times if you have a small game, it's like you play this card, you play this card. We ran out of cards, game's over.
Yeah.
You need to get them back into the system. So I had these mechanisms where, all right, the cards that I've earned before, I spend them to get even better cards, and my score is slowly getting up. And the cards have 2 sides. So every time you spend a card, you flip it to the other side. Now it's a little bit better. So it's going to give a little bit more power the next time someone takes it. And so the game has this nice, elevator or arc. I like to use that term in games. Games should have an arc where as the more you play it, you're getting stronger, or it's feeling like a little bit bigger as the game gets deeper. Yeah. And so it still has that like engine building feel with very few cards. And I always make a requirement on myself that I can support up to 4 players. So that was the other okay, you only have 18 cards. How do 4 players feel like they're engine building at least a little bit? I think it worked out pretty well. And now the one I'm working on now, since you mentioned it, I called Buddies in Sorcery. I think I had a couple different names before I landed on that. I just liked the pun there. And I shared, you're in Studies in Sorcery, you're in you're in this arcane academy more or less, right? And so what would be a prequel to that? Getting into that academy. So it's about and so that game's about like the moon phases. And I'm like, what'd be funny is if the course of a weekend you had to cram for the entrance exam.
That's awesome.
So instead of the moon phase, it's the sun rise and set for over 3 days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the sun rises. It's at high noon and then sunset. So throughout those 3 days, study as much as you can for the test. And the buddies part is one of the things is you have to buy cards. So it's very similar to Studies in Sorcery, which is all about you have to acquire the cards and then later spend the resources on them. And the way that you get the resources in that game is what's the word? Something draft.
Winston draft.
Winston draft. Thank you. It was a Winston draft. So I wanted all those mechanisms. Again, it's a challenge. Can I get all those mechanisms in a much smaller game? And so instead of piles of resources, I don't have cards. The cards it's more of a tile laying. So the card rotates, and the more it rotates, makes it easier to overlap to build up resources. But you still don't have enough resources. There are not that many cards. So the buddies part, to bring it back to buddies, is you can borrow the resources of your neighbors, your buddies. You're working together on these exams. And so that's the buddies part, to help pay for those cards to get them into your possession. So that's how I'm able to grow the amount of resources with fewer cards.
That's really clever. I love the tackling of something, but also finding a very clever solution to it. Because yeah, you're right. I mean, if you have 4 players and there's 18 cards, like even if every player gets 1 to start with, boom, you're down to 14 cards. Like
I will admit,
like,
with this one, I cheated and went straight to 27 cards, knowing that seems to be the trend now because we have Explosions 27 cards, Dreams of Yesterday 27 cards. I think Tumble Toe will be expanded 27 cards. So I went straight there, knowing that I'm not going to constrain my. It wouldn't be doable what I'm trying to do with 18, but I did fit it into 27.
That's very fair. That's and smart anyway, because yeah, you're right. It's just gonna. She's just gonna be like, we're doing 27, or like I think at one point she mentioned maybe doing 29 cards for one of them, because like the extra cards might do something. So like again, that is absolutely not official, like or anything. Just like,
yeah, I think that's what the explosion they're talking about. Maybe having the like whether we're going to have the extra player beakers or not.
Ah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, like definitely weird, like in the Weird Giraffe Games to go like a completely odd number, like prime number even. So yeah, like that would be interesting.
So yeah, those are the prequel micro games I'm working on. And I'm always working on other games that I'm showing them at conventions. Hopefully getting lots of play tests in and seeing some other future games. I'll mention it I'll drop it one last time. Mission Control Critical Orbit is hopefully out this year. Super fun cooperative game that was showed originally at Gen Con. Got a lot of press. It's on like 4 lists at least that I've seen of anticipated for highest anticipated for 2023.
Oh wow!
Very cool.
Wow.
Mentioned here and there. So yeah, it's getting some good buzz. So I'm pretty excited, and it won't be the last either you see from me. So stay tuned.
You've been absolutely on a roll for sure. I'm throwing the link here and for this is the Board Game Geek page for Mission Control Critical Orbit. But yeah, I think that's awesome. Like you just, I mean, you found a way that works, and you have been absolutely nailing it with all these designs and stuff. So, and I also like that you have found a way to like not just do the 27 card things, because like for me, like I love to do, like we do TTRPGs and stuff on the side, but every once in a while I'm like, I just want to make a game. Like I know their TTRPGs literally have the word game in them, but you know what I mean? Like a tabletop game with dice and like, like just other like cards and stuff, like, because the TTRPGs I make are like literally just like, here's a piece of paper, or like you role play, or like, it's a party game
multiples
on a sheet. Yes. So sometimes it's just like, yeah, I just want to make something that I have to play test and prototype and like all this stuff. And so like you get both of those. You have like your challenges of doing something in 18 to 27 cards, but you also have where you're just kind of, freely designing something that's also apparently doing incredibly well, like to be like so anticipated. It's awesome. I'm already like interested just because A, like of the other things you're already doing, and B, because I love cooperative games, even if I'm generally terrible with them, but like, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, the story of that one's fun too, because again, it was based on a contest again. And at the time, the contest was make a game that only one person has to own and everyone else is remote and can still play.
Oh, cool.
And so, like whenever I make a game and there's a constraint like that, I want it to feel like the game came first and that happened to be the constraint versus the other way around. Like, oh, I have this game idea and it happens to, I'm going to shoehorn it into this thing. Like, for example, what if the contest was make a game that's in a mint tin? Well, I want it to feel like it belongs in a mint tin, not it was some game that shrunk down to a mint tin, as an example. So this was the same thing. Like, what's a game where one person owns, but that's like intentional, not a side effect. And so the theme that we came up with was the Apollo 13 mission, where they're stuck in space. They have these 2 systems where they're running out of oxygen, and they have to like get them to connect. I don't know how familiar you are with the story, but there's like this command module, the lunar module, and they're 2 totally different systems. And in order to get their oxygen working, they had to figure out how to fit them together. And Mission Control on the ground had all these resources, and they're like, here, this is what they have up there. Figure out how to make it work. And so Mission Control did it, and then that basically relayed that information to the astronauts, and they were able to restore it. So we took that and turned it into a themed game where one player is the astronaut and is running out of oxygen. They have all these things in front of them, and the other players are all members of Mission Control remote. And the way it works is it's a roll and write. So the astronaut rolls some dice, 3 dice, and all the other puzzles are different. They're unique roll and write puzzles where the astronaut calls out the numbers, the 3 numbers, and all those players have to agree which 2 to use, but all their puzzles are different. So one player might want a certain number really badly, but that number is not useful to the other ones. But, they have to agree on it. And so it's a real-time game. So the more they argue, the more time the astronauts spend in space, maybe not surviving. So that's where the theme came from. And they took it and they added their own IP to it, Third World Studios. So it's the same game, but this like kind of more sci-fi, they call it an Ethernaut and mission, but it's still Mission Control trying to get them back. So it's a little bit more of a sci-fi appeal to it, but it came from that vision of the Apollo 13 mission astronaut. It's still space theme. It's still astronauts, but it can be played. It can be played remote, but it's probably now more around the table now that we're less remote and people can play. But it's certainly not out of the question. It's that element is still there.
I like that too because there are a lot of times where we want to play a game and like we just don't all want to sit at the table. Like you can just chill on your couch or whatever. And then just like. You get a clipboard. It kind of feels even more Mission Control-y when like you got that clipboard and you're writing on it. Like get something fancy like to write with. But I love that theme too. Like that, just like that really captures the essence. And I feel like that would exactly be it. Like we played. I cannot Keep Talking or Nobody Explodes. Yeah, that's a great game where like one person has like we played it in VR even because we have a PSVR. So like I'd wear the helmet and then Angel would have the book. And I'd be like, describing the thing to her and she'd have to like, and that is the thing. Like when that stress starts happening a little bit, you just automatically start like your voice is just raising and you're like yelling instead of like talking. And it's like, I'm not angry at you, but I need to know the answer to this thing. I said it was this number. Why are you not telling me this thing? And it's like, because there's like 12 pages here, Beth, let me get to it. And it's just like, this just escalates. And like, yeah, obviously you're going to make it harder on yourselves doing that. And I can absolutely picture that with your game.
So if you like that game, you will like this because that same chaos and stress, and a lot of people are scared to be the what we call the Ethernaut. So I'm going to use Ethernaut. A lot of people are scared to be the Ethernaut because that's where all the pressure is. Like they're the one with the physical components and have to solve this like polyomino puzzle to restore oxygen. And that's like everyone. And the Mission Control is like calling out, "Hey, you can now draw this card. You can now pull this component." And they're sweating it. And then those final 5 minutes, you can see like the tension, and it's just a beautiful moment. And it's a 20-minute game, so you fail, you switch roles and play again, or maybe you keep all the same roles because every role's different. You can switch it around and give it another shot. And it's a lot of fun.
I think it's really cool. And I like, even though we have Pandemic, the real-time one, I forget what it's called. But we have that in our closet.
Rapid Response.
That's it. Yes. Rapid Response. We have it. We got it for like $6 on a sale. We have not played it yet because it gives me anxiety. And yet I want to play it, but I also you have that, like, I'm going to fail. I'm like, I honestly feel like it's even kind of practice of like, we have to learn to fail. And so like, maybe our games can teach us to fail miserably. It's fine. It's all right. So Harold Selene, you've played I already forgot the name of it. The Pandemic one.
Pandemic Rapid Response is the real-time one.
You've played that one then?
Yes.
How do you do with it?
Not very well so far, but I will say that Fuse is one of my all-time favorite solo games, and I love playing it with the personality timer where she yells at you when it gets down really low.
Oh my goodness,
I'm probably the only person on the planet that thinks that that's a fun way to relax, is to be yelled at while trying to defuse bombs, but it's a great little game.
Yeah, it is.
That's hysterical. I need that game just for that now, honestly. That sounds hysterical. And while we're talking here, you said you designed a 9-card game. What led you to pick that contest? What led you to the design you did on it? Like how'd that go?
Yeah, with Charge the Circle, I was just thinking about a couple of designs I've had on the back burner. A few have gotten stuck, where Seventh Seal is one of my bigger designs that has just kind of stalled because I'm like, I have parts of it working, but it's not really a game yet. Is it a game book? Is it a mystery? Is it, what's going on here? So finally, I just started looking at all the different contests that were coming live in January. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to commit to at least one of them. Let's just go for it. And awesome. The 9-card contest, I was like, okay, it limits me to 9 cards, 24 components, and a rule book. Let's do this. And so Charge the Circle came about from the limitations of the contest, but also from the world building I'm doing for 7th Seal. So cool. In Charge the Circle, you are a mage and you are trying to fix the circle of magic. You are trying to reactivate magic before everything goes kaplooey and the world ends. So you actually only have 10 minutes and you're drawing dice. It gets a lot of its DNA from Fuse, one of my favorites. But it also, with the flipping of the cards, you start with the 9 cards as a board, and that represents the different elements of magic pooling and out of sync with each other. And as you activate each card with a combination of dice, you flip it and it reveals a dream catcher. And magic is back in sync. You've saved everything. So if you can successfully reveal the dream catcher, you win. If the timer goes off, not so much.
You gonna make the app that screams at people, or like a voice file like that's exactly the length of time, or like?
Yeah, there's no voice file yet. I just recommend using a 10-minute timer. But if the game takes off, sure.
Okay, we're gonna have to make that happen then. Like, we're just gonna after we're done in the next month or so, like, we're just gonna promote this game instead. Like, that's cool.
Thank you.
I do think it's funny though that it's called Charge the Circle, and like people refer to like being in the area, like, being absorbed in a game or whatever as the magic circle. So
yes,
it's very fitting that you're fixing that in a game that you are living in the magic circle at the same time. Like, that's very thematically set. Perfect.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay, so the plan was that we would play Explosion in the Laboratory. I don't see us getting the whole game in, but if you're up for it, we can play at least some of it. Okay, I have Corey's. Corey was the one that was awesome enough to make the Explosion in the Laboratory on StreamYard. We're on StreamYard. On ScreenTop.
ScreenTop, right?
Yeah, on ScreenTop, exactly, yeah. So I started a game of it, and I just entered it. I'm going to throw the link here.
Okay.
There we go. That's in the chat there.
Anyone can join. Yeah, get in there before it's full.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah.
I was
no, get out. Yeah, I did not think about that at all. Oh no.
I'm in.
Okay. I followed the link.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, if you don't have an account, I think you can type in a name or something. Yeah, there you go. You're on. Okay.
Okay, I'm on. I'm Sky Enchantress on here.
All right. And I'm Corey.
Okay.
Okay, so Corey, would you like to explain the game?
Sure thing. I'm gonna move some cards around.
Oh, you got the updated art in here. Yay.
Yes. So this
oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Yeah, I knew you'd love it.
And I'll actually share the screen now, like I was gonna.
I was gonna say, can people see this?
No, they're not.
People seeing the cards, or are they just seeing our reaction?
They're seeing our reaction. That's all that matters, is our reaction.
Trust our faces. It's good.
Yeah. Trust us.
Okay. Cool. So this is Explosion in the Laboratory. If you're familiar with Fire in the Library, a lot of this is going to make sense. But even if you're not, that's okay. You don't have to be. The object of the game is to score points. You score points by pushing your luck. It's a push your luck game of drawing chemicals in the lab and then mixing them into flasks and eventually pouring those flasks into beakers. And the beakers are going to score you various points. So on your turn, okay. Oh, I found a new trick. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
On your turn, you're gonna put out these 6 cards. This is a ScreenTop exclusive trick. And select them all, you flip them over, and you can shuffle them in line like this.
Awesome.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Z. And then you flip them back over, and they're in a random order.
See, it's a table swirling. It's the best way.
Yeah.
That is cool.
And so what you're going to do, to determine what chemical you're picking, and maybe we need to zoom in a little, is take the leftmost card number and add it to the rightmost card. Now, in this case, there's an X, so you'd move in one until there's an actual number. So in this case, we got 5 plus 5, which is 10. You're then going to reference the chemical or the lab card that has the fire level, the current fire level. And the fire level is based on adding up the number of this little triangular warning sign that's on the bottom edge of all these beakers. So there's only one. So we're going to go to fire level card 1, and we're going to go to chemical 10. If you zoom using spacebar can zoom to see it nice and close. Chemical 10 in this case is red. And so I would take a red flask. I'm pouring that chemical into a flask and I have red. Now, every time you do this, you can decide to either keep going or to stay. If you stay, you get points equal to the yellow star showing on your chemical, on your flask, and the black star on any beaker that you pour into. Now, I just have red, so red doesn't pour into any of the colors up here, which happen to be green, orange, or purple. So I'd only score 3 points if I stop now. So that's, maybe that's okay, but I like to push my luck a lot. What's going to happen as I grab more chemicals, I'm either going to create new flasks with those chemicals, or I'm going to pour into existing ones. So let's say I added yellow to red. If you don't remember your colors, mixtures, yellow plus red makes orange. So I would flip over the one I fill with orange and turn it into orange. Now, once there's 2 chemicals in one flask, you can't pour any more into it. However, I get up to 3 flasks, so I could start a new one until I have 3. If I happen to have 3 full flasks, that means 6 chemicals, I have to stop if you can make it that far. And the reason why I say if is because it's a push your luck game. And anytime you have this fire icon showing on one of your flasks, that means you're in a volatile state. If you grab another red chemical, no matter what, you're going to explode and you lose all your points. There is a consolation. You do get a process card. That's these cards up here. And you get to choose whether you want the blue or the yellow side. And these are going to be helpful for future turns. The other way to explode is if you draw a black chemical anytime after the first turn. If you draw it on the first turn, it's actually a wild, and you can choose what chemical you want it to be. But on the second or later turn, it becomes an explosion. So that's another way of exploding. So even if you think you're good, hey, look, I don't have any volatile chemicals. Well, if you draw a black chemical, you explode anyways. The other way to get process cards, so besides exploding, is if you have a double yellow or a double blue. So you'll notice that those chemicals are not represented up top either. So they give you points and a process card. In that case, you don't get to choose which side, though. If it's yellow, you get the yellow side. If it's blue, you get the blue side. All right. So let's say I did stop and I did something like, this would be a really awesome turn. I have one orange, one yellow, double yellow, one double blue, and I'm like, I guess I'm stopping here. I get 2, 4, 8 points plus 2 points for the orange that I pour in. So that's 10 total points. And anytime you pour into one of these beakers, you're going to rotate it. So these are going to get more and more volatile as the game goes on. Look, they start to get really wacky here. And you'll notice also the number of triangles can change, which is going to increase the fire level. If you were watching at the top of this conversation, that will move us to a different card, which changes the ratio of how likely you are to pick a red or black test tube or chemical and end up exploding. We're all going to take a turn, so everybody gets a turn. And at the end of the round, we're going to rotate one of these cards. And the one you rotate is going to be the one that has the lowest number. It's hard to see unless zoomed in the little circle on the bottom edge. So in this case, this green is a 1. So that would be the lowest. So that's the one that would rotate if the round ended like this. We're going to keep going until one of these cards hits that X. So they all have the X on them. If any one of them hits the X on the bottom edge, the game immediately ends, and the player with the highest score wins. Did I forget anything?
No, that was everything. You did an awesome job. I mean, I know it's your game, but also like you did a great job of capturing everything there and making it really interesting. I always think that's really cool about this game too, is that it's 27 cards. It's very quick, but there's still a lot of strategy. And in fact, the last time that you played it here on our stream, it was really interesting because there were so many turns where like somebody could potentially end it if they wanted to, but like they would have ended it too early, they would not have won. So there's this very much like pace of like, you know, you maybe you want to explode the laboratory and burn the library down,
or you're forced to push your luck because you need to jump past the person that's in the lead.
Yep. Exactly.
One thing I didn't mention is each round the player order will change based on the current score. So whoever's the lowest score will go first, and then so on until it's the highest score. So that gives that player the benefit of going first and trying to catch up before the game ends.
I like that. That's cool.
And I think that's it. So I added these little like meeple colors that should match your seat color. And if you can set the score by right clicking and saying set and change it to a different number. Except for 10 is 0. So that'll help keep score for us.
Very cool. Okay. Nice.
All right. I guess, are we ready? I don't know. You know what? The rules do change a little bit. Do we start with process cards? I don't think so, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I don't think so either. This is another one of the fun things about like a game changing.
We go back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we do now.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. And again, like this is also a change. So just because we play it this way does not mean like, you know, that's how the final product will be. But
exactly.
But yeah.
So we're gonna go not then.
Yeah, there we go. That's cool.
Oh. The different tools, I keep forgetting that R is not rotate in screen top.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it rotates the whole table.
R
yeah.
Oh. So Z is shuffle. All right, those are nice and shuffled. Everything should be on the lowest edge right now. All right, who wants to start things off here?
We can go in order of our names.
Yeah, I was gonna say we just go in the order of the names.
Okay.
That's perfect.
All right. Now, how did you shuffle these?
So
that cute little trick.
Shift select will let you select all the cards as you click over them. So shift. Yep. Shift. And then you can do Z after they're all selected as many times as you want. And then,
oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
That is really fun.
F to flip. It'll save so much time.
Okay. That's awesome.
And F to flip. Okay, cool. All right. So we are looking, should be 22. And I think I'm going to have to zoom in.
Oops.
Oh, no.
It was 22 on one. So
yeah.
It's red.
It's red. Yeah.
Yeah. Space bar zooms, by the way.
Space. Okay. All right.
And then you can do kind of the same trick. Shift select F to flip them back down, shuffle them, and then F again.
Right, shift.
Yeah, I found this out on accident. I pushed Z when they're all selected. They happen to shuffle. Like, oh.
You're like, ooh.
Okay. Flip. Okay. And then shift. Oh, where'd it go?
Just Z.
Oh, okay. And then F to flip back. Okay.
Okay.
All right. 16 on the first one. Oh, no. Did I explode? No, that's yellow. All right. Flippity flip.
So that is E, I believe?
Yes. It should. Come on. Oh, wait. Rotate, not flip.
Oh, unless you're looking to add it to your red.
I think we'll start a new one. Why not? Okay. Let's see what happens. All right. I'm getting better at this.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, let's push the luck, right? Okay.
Yeah, they don't call it a push your luck game for nothing.
That's exactly. Right. All right. 15. Still on one. And blue. Yeah. Okay. We're going to add it to our red one here. We're not going to push things too far. And that means it's now purple. Mm-hmm. Come on, rotate. Okay. Flip these back. That is really cool. All right, 14.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Bum bum bum.
Bum bum bum! I blew up. All right, so that means
You burnt down the fire or the library that you love.
yeah. Apparently, I started the fire in the
You
library.
started the-
Who
You
knew?
know, whoopsies.
So yep, we'll
And
draw.
a process
Just
card.
had to make that game
Choose a
happen.
side.
Yes. You're just doing your part to help. make it a
Exactly.
reality.
Yeah.
Oops, that's the wrong button.
Spin
What was flip again?
F.
F. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
And then Z for shuffle.
Z for shuffle. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that fun?
It is really fun. I totally agree. Like that's amazing. I also love that it borders it in orange, which is the best color. So we got
I think it's because that's your
16
player color.
Oh, well, that makes sense. It's it's also because it's the best color. It's just a coincidence, but yeah.
Yes.
So that'd be a yellow for me.
Mhm.
Now we need a red, so I can make myself some orange. All right. This is a really great trick. I love that, by the way. So 5
Mhm.
is yellow. Yeah, we'll flip this over, and I can get myself a process card. Oops, I'm doing the rotate the whole screen thing again too. It's
E.
E. Thank you.
Yeah.
E for like an empty tank. That's apparently how you rotate.
I really don't understand the hotkey, but it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, so we've got 10 because we skipped to
10.
X.
I guess
And
we'll call
2.
it we don't want it to face that way.
Blue. Okay. And might as well keep going. Well, I know I'm going to get a black here, and it's going to be like, this is what you get. But
Well, those are less likely to come up on the lower
24.
cards.
Don't say that. 24
It's
is
the
blue.
truth, though.
Ooh, actually, you know what? I'm just going to stop there, and I'm going to dang it. I'm going to take 2 process cards. I'm happy with that.
Remember,
So
you only get 1 process card, no matter how many.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. You do only get 1. So
Mhm.
you're right. I want to start another blue instead of taking. Good call. Okay. You built the strategy over here.
That rule might change though.
That's true. That's also possible to change.
Mhm.
I remember right too. Currently, what happens if there's no process cards is you take one from whoever has the most points or whoever has the most process cards.
That's right.
There's something like really fun about that. I would love to do that at some point. So
Yoink.
3 is red. Okay, now I'll stop because that is blue plus red is purple. Dang it! And I'm rotating the whole table yet again. I apologize to anybody watching on stream because that's got to be really fun to watch. Okay, so there we go. That is 4, 5, 6, 7 points plus that is 3 on that one, so that's 10.
Huge score.
This one rotates.
We'll just call you DJ Bethy Beth, spinning the table, spinning.
And you get a yellow process card.
Heck yeah, I will take that.
Very good turn.
Yeah, I'm probably done with good turns now, but I'll take it. Okay, so that's I can't remember what it was.
Yellow.
Yellow. Thank you.
Yellow.
Okay, so, cool. Choose a
You can
compound
put it
or double mixture.
Below your orange player, maybe.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
All right, I think it's me. All right, 4 on. Oh wait, you rotated something. We're still on 1 though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blue.
Rotated. Yep.
All right, I'll take my blue and then keep going. Pen on 1 is red. All right, we will make that purple. 8 points. You set the precedent. You know what? I'm gonna stop here. I'm taking the 8.
Nice.
I'm gonna be really conservative here. 4 plus 4 is 8.
It's still a great score. Yeah.
And that's it for my turn. No card for me though. And the fire level is now 2.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, no.
How'd that get selected? That's funny. Anyway.
Well, we see that the shuffle works no matter where the card is.
That's true.
Shift select to unselect it, maybe?
Yeah, I tried that. I don't know.
Oh, you might have to start over and like click off of everything, and then
There we go.
Yeah.
Like, how did that even get selected? I didn't even go up there.
Lesson learned.
I don't know if it's because I had it selected. That's weird though.
Maybe it got confused. So we have 16 on 1.
On 2.
On 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Getting more dangerous for me.
Yeah. Yellow.
Yay. I have to zoom in. I got old eyes.
Oh, I use the zoom too. Don't worry.
Okay. Let's see if we can do this right this time. It's my chaotic shuffle.
Yes.
So red.
Yep.
Hey, I knew how to do that. Okay.
So
Proud of myself. Little victories.
You know what? I just realized something. There's 4 of us, right? I guess you're supposed to be using these ones.
Oopsies.
Oh, whoopsies.
Swap them in now.
If you
You might
want
as well go for it.
Ah,
Yeah.
you know what?
Sure. Why not?
just trying to make it more dangerous on me. No.
Wait. Well, yeah, that's true. We should each get 1 turn first.
Okay, shuffle. Goodness, my brain. Okay.
Or we just go with these ones because that'll
Alright,
abbreviate
I
the game,
blew
which we
up.
might need anyways.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
I blew up.
Oh no!
Because you tried to harness the power of orange.
I just didn't want Rachel to be alone. That's all.
Aw,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate
You
that.
do get a process card though.
Yay.
And
All right.
the other thing, that's the end of the round because we've all gone. Actually, there is this card for helping keep track of how far into the round you are. So that's the end of the round. We're going to rotate one of these. It looks like it's going to be the green. And we'll start a new round. So we have, we'll go in player order for the lowest here. So I guess that goes back to Sky Enchantress.
Yeah, the thing is, my name on here is Sky Enchantress, but that's only because this started. I use that as my Discord and my handle on Ascension.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
And I play in the league on that, so it's just handy for everything to match.
Oh, nice.
But all right, let's see. Flip. Whee! Okay.
And now you also have, what does your card say?
Yes.
Chemicals,
Oh, yes.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
You know
that's a good
what?
one.
Yeah, we should play that.
You're using it?
Yeah, we're using it.
All right, so you got your 5 points no matter what.
No matter what, I have 5 points. And this
got it for
goes
ya.
back up. How does that get shuffled back in up here? Just set it to the, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
discard pile.
Okay, so I shuffled these, so it's going to be 8, and we've got, danger too. Okay.
Now you must draw 3 chemicals.
I know. Okay, now I can read it 5, which means, oh no, wait, 8. I need 8. Yes, I'm blind here. Okay, it's blue. All right, so I have blue.
Good
And
start.
let's flip all these. Oh no.
Whoops.
Whoopsies. All right, let's try this again. Oh, wait a sec.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, let's get them all flipped the same direction, right?
There we go.
And now let's select that
There
one.
you are.
There we go. Okay. And flip back. Okay. So that's 12 on 2. And please say I didn't blow up yet.
Did not.
Oh, yes. Blue. Oh, I love this. Okay. So we're going to do, you know what? We're just going to rotate this. Okay. And another for good measure. All right. Oh, 8 again. Okay. So that is still blue, right?
Yep.
All right.
That'd be really wild if the same number somehow changed the color.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be fun. Is that going to be the next game? Sorry. All right.
The whole whose line is it anywhere, where the points don't matter, but now also the numbers don't matter, and like nothing matters, and just
Yeah.
You do it with transparent cards.
It'll be existential explosions.
Yeah, transparent cards too. There you go.
That go on top.
Right. So
yeah, it's overlay.
Okay, I got a yellow. And let me go out so I can actually find a yellow. Okay. We're going to have 3 beakers going.
Hey, all right.
We're going to go for all the points. Try and get ahead. All right.
As Justin says, risk it for the brisket biscuit.
Yes.
Exactly.
Biscuit.
You have no red yet, so you're pretty okay.
Yes.
Okay. 10. And that is...
That's
is that red? Yes, it is.
Red.
That's my red.
There's some points.
Points, and we're also probably going to stop there. Wait, this one? Yeah, this one was blue. Or no.
So
yeah. So this should. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, we're gonna stop there. So that's 4.
All right.
5, 6,
so that is 7, 12 points.
Yes.
And this flips to this side already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
That's gonna bump things up.
We're at fire level 3 now. And it goes to Angel is next.
Okay.
I...
Four on 3.
Yep.
Blue.
Blue.
That's here somewhere.
Yeah,
just that one.
Flip that one. Yep.
Yeah. And then
there.
Oh, and you have a card too. Let's see. What do you got here?
Oh yeah, what's your card?
It's do you have the blue side? Unfortunately, when you zoom in, it doesn't rotate it.
Yeah, it was the blue side.
If you score 3 different flasks, score an additional 5.
Ooh.
Nice.
That would be the best time to use it because, like, farther on, that's going to get a little bit more, like, hard to do. So 14. So that's a red.
Yep.
Why not? I need some points.
Points are good.
14 again, which means
Bye-bye.
Oh no.
Oh, you keep that though. You didn't end up using it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And you get another one though.
Yay. Not that one, this one.
Yep.
Flip. Let's see what we got. And I get a pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to pick ionize. It says convert a double yellow or double blue mixture into another mixture.
All right. And it's my turn. Shuffle, shuffle. Whoop. You got 5 on 3. 5 on 3 is yellow. Keep going. You got 23 on 3. That is another yellow.
Oh, nice.
I will split it. Still going. Oh no. 2. I already know what's going to happen.
Oh no.
I explode. It's a black, which any time after the first one is an explosion. So I will take my card and humbly end my turn.
Okay, let's see. My card is
Let's
choose a
see.
compound or double mixture. If you make it during, that is the mixture phase here, where we normally play like the main phase of the game, I gain 5 points. So I'm going to go ahead and use that.
I'm gonna keep titrate.
And I'm going to call, let's say, I'm going to make orange. Orange is my color. So if I make orange, I get 5 extra points.
All right.
All right.
I like it.
And that is 4 on 3, which is blue. That's not helpful. We'll get there.
That won't make orange. Oh, that's red.
Yeah, that's red. There
Ones.
we go. Yeah, it's nice and it shows it in the corner. I just, if it would help if I actually paid attention to that, though. Oh, cool. I flipped it, but like I'm still flipped. There we go. Okay. Yeah.
And it works out that it's Beth's turn so that we all have equal amounts of turns because we'll have to end it on this one.
That's true, too. Good point. Yeah. So that's
unfortunately
17 on 3 is red, which would be great if I already had orange. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill that one up halfway and hope that I can get the yellow so I can make the orange. That's what I meant, is yellow so I can make the orange.
The way the schedule was, it ended up being that we're going to go on someone else's stream at 5:30, or we would just make this one longer.
Yeah, exactly.
I dreaded 2.
2 on 3, which, yeah, we know what happens there. So no orange for me, which makes Harold Selenay the winner.
Yay!
At 17.
Nice.
It always surprises me how much fun this game is. Like, because I haven't played it in a while, and it's just like there's always this like little bit of anxiety with anything technology based, especially when people are watching you, that like you're gonna flip the screen around 20 times like I do every time. But like it's really fun. Like, it is super fast paced. It's like you kind of have that mixture of like you don't know what's gonna happen, but also like somebody just got a 2, and so 2 is gonna blow you up because like that just happened to somebody else until like the beaker changes again. I think that's a really cool combo of the two things.
Yeah, and I think this, we should point out that we're ending early here, so like Angel is not out of it, right?
Right.
Oh, definitely not.
You have 2 like cards that will definitely help boost it later.
Oh yeah, that definitely helps.
But and I would say only because we're ending early does it seem like
a runaway
0 points, but no, that's not really what's going to happen.
No, I'm more of a long game player, so
Right.
I was just working it up here.
Yeah, there are some of these that actually I'm trying to find one real quick, but that will allow you to like alter what's in the here we go, increase or decrease the selected chemical value by one. Oh, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about like where you can actually rotate the beakers. So like
I have titrate. I was totally going to do that if we were.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So like there's all kinds of ways to use the rest of the game. And just like Fire in the Library, it's a lot easier to get more points later in the game, but also a lot easier to blow up. So like it's harder to, like you might want to finish quickly, but when you do complete something, you're getting a lot more points for it. So one good turn late in the game can be way better than like, 2 or 3 okay turns earlier in the game.
Exactly.
So
yeah, because as these rotate, those numbers on the bottom are bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like right now that blue is worth so much, or purple. Sorry, purple is worth so much. So like it's really cool that like Harold Selenay over here earlier could choose between orange and purple, and the purple is worth way more. So obviously you're going to pick purple, but then also at the same time you're pushing this toward the end game. So that can also factor in there. Like if you're in the lead, like absolutely push that thing and then finish it. Or if you're not, then like you got to go with the orange, which is worth less, but at least the game doesn't end. So really cool balance of everything in such a small game, and like just the fact that it like we have the Dreams of Yesterday like thingies here that are just like a small little compact thing that you can toss in it anywhere, and like that same thing will happen with Explosion, which I think is really cool. Like it's just nice, just like chuck that somewhere. Angel earlier tossed a game over my wall back here, and it would make a lot less noise than Big Easy Busking did when that happened. So. But do either of you have anything you'd like to say before we take off?
No, not really. If people like playing solo games, I also play a lot of 2-player games with my mom. Check out Harold's Calls daily blog over on Board Game Geek. Cool. And I'm also hosting February Solitaire Games on Your Table with 1-Player Guild, also on Board Game Geek. So
very cool.
Nothing for me. Just thanks for having me on. It's fun as usual. And hopefully those watching, if this looked fun to you, I hope it did. And pre-order it. It's still available to pre-order. And but if you like either Fire in the Library, micro games, or Push Your Luck games, if you like one or more of those things, then you'll like this game.
I've had fun every time we play it, and I like this implementation update. We played it with you on another stream, and I like the upgrade of the little points and the way it's easier to shuffle it. We were having a time with those cards before.
Yeah. There's like what we call the remote playing tax, right? Where a game takes way longer than it should because you're just dealing with the technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and rotating the screen all like a billion times. But yeah, we're Angel and I are gonna be headed over to Panda Angel's channel. We'll probably take a couple minutes before we head over there because like I really need to hit the bathroom real quick. So just that kind of thing. But like I won't get into any details, obviously. But have a great evening, and thank you both for joining us. It was awesome hanging out with you for the first time, Harold Selenay, and also like having you on a stream. I think that's awesome. That
this was fun. I've never done a stream before, so thank you for having me on.
Well, that's cool. Now you have to do more. We'll have to have you on again sometime too. I think that'd be fun. And awesome. Corey, it was awesome as always to have you around. So
yes, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, please. Have a great day.
All right.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
And I'm going to see if I can raid over to Panda Angel. I did that earlier. I should be able to.
And thanks everybody for listening. We'll be over at we'll raid over to Panda and you can see us over there. We'll be playing Gift of Tulips on Sovereignty.
Yep, exactly.